Hi, Dan Acre here, weapons curator and operations manager at the Ontario Regiment Museum located in Oshawa, Ontario. So continuing our weapons series, we're going to talk a little bit about the Schneider Enfield. Now, as mentioned in the last video, the Enfield rifle was very successful. The problem was that during the war, breech-loading weapons started being developed. And so the British basically were looking at a cheap way of converting their Enfield rifles into breech-loading. And an American inventor named Schneider came along and he invented a mechanism that could take your basic Enfield rifle and turn it into a breech loader. So this mechanism is very simple. Basically, if you take a look, you open the mechanism, you can actually take a round, put it inside, close it, and then what you have here is you have a mechanism here that when the hammer hits the firing pin, you can see the firing pin extends. So you can actually have a center fire cartridge in there. So initially these were paper with a primer at the bottom, and you load it in. Once you fired, it went down range. But then you take grab your bolt here, pull it back, and as wire brass wound cartridges came into effect, and other cartridges later on, basically you loosen the cartridge comme ça, you go like this, get the empty cartridge, put the new one in, and repeat. Now, I'm just going to show you a little bit. This was the artillery / cavalry carbine. They're very similar. This one actually is a little bit later. So basically the mechanism, in order to open it, you have to press on this little spring-loaded device to pull it out. But it's a lot easier to see. Again, the pin, you can see the pin as it appears when it's hit from the back. And again, the same mechanism to get rid of the empty casing. Now, one of the big things, first of all, this is rifled, but one of the things about being breech loading was that you can actually fire this from the prone position. You can load and fire from the prone position. You no longer have to stand up in lines. Remember, we were talking about the difficulty of loading, muzzle loading weapons if you're in cover. There are some ways that you can do it lying down, and not terribly effective, not terribly quick. But all of a sudden now you have a battlefield in which you're firing more rounds, better accuracy, and you can fire from cover. But you'll also notice one other thing. We talked about the India pattern musket, which was in production for numerous years and was the standard basically from 1771 till about 1853 when the Enfield rifle came out. And now from the 1853 rifle, by 1866-67, you're starting to see modifications made with the Schneider system to allow these to become breech loading. So as technology advances, the lifespan and the life cycle of infantry weapons starts to get shorter and shorter as more and more improvements are made, and the influence on infantry tactics. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's just quickly change the ending. So hold that up again at port, and just see you in our next series, or blah 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 blah, something to that effect. Okay, and 3, 2, 1.
That's what we'll have to say about the Schneider Enfield, and I'll see you in our next presentation.